What's up guys and girls, and welcome back to another Ride Sims episode. So, this time we have Phantom Manor. So hopefully this doesn't get me copyright striked, but it might. But who knows. So this is Phantom Manor from Disneyland, Paris. So I'm going to just start the Doom buggies, whatever they're called, going around. So I need to... Did I put the peep loading on? Now I did. So basically, you're gonna hear a lot of probably keyboard tapping maybe. So if you do want the key commands, they are here. So it tells you how to open and close, speed up the ride and all that lot. See, basically I've got it set so the lift options is close front and close back. That is automatically going to do that for me. So it helps me just be better with my loading and unloading. As you saw, there was a couple of people that are already in the ride. They're just coming through here. So that is basically because they are they priority? Doom buggies. Yeah, priority access peeps. So you have to stop the ride when the priority come. And it gets busy. I mean, I know it says busy now, but I had what? Christ, I had about 500 odd people. This is one of the attractions for some reason that seems to get very, very busy. And it's just like, you know, you try and... So as you can see, that's flashing. If you can hit it exactly right when it flashes, you can actually speed it up. You know, you can help dispatch the peeps quicker out of the front. I was playing it for good. What must have been... See, as you can see, that keeps flashing and I missed it. So if you can get it when it flashes like that, you have to obviously spam a bit of down key to do it, and it's quicker for getting your throughput. I'm glad there's not, as you can see, it flashes then, so if I can get it spammed right like so, it now releases more people. I've always enjoyed Phantom Manor. I mean, I went on Haunted Mansion in Orlando, and it's not really a change apart from perhaps certain bits of it are in French. Whereas this is obviously the one in Florida was English. So we've got 42 in there, it's not bad. So obviously if you watch the top, where the loading platform is, you'll see, occasionally we'll see people appear. Up the top, up here, where my mouse is, you'll see people appear up here. And that's your priority access peeps. I'll show you the process for that once we actually get some peeps up there. Because if you didn't see the beginning of the video, if you missed it at the beginning of the video because of me, then well, yeah, I apologise. You will get the priority access peeps. Definitely no doubt about not getting them, you will get them. Didn't spam that. There we go. Like I say, it's just a perfect load strategy is if you spam the down arrow button. There you go, 2 priority access peeps up here. There you go, there. So now I have to stop the ride, let them load, and start that again. And it can, like I say, it can get confusing. It's an easy sim to operate, it's not. It's actually not that difficult. Just, obviously when it gets busy you've got no chance of when it gets really, really busy, you've got no chance of getting your guest numbers down. You've just got to go with it. That's the hardest part of it, is if your guest numbers get ridiculously high, you've got no chance. And the difference in scoring is weird because they actually they changed how the Sims actually score you. Christ, I used to be able to pull a big score on this game. On this one. No, I meant to open it, didn't mean to shut it down. That's gonna not. It's gonna. As you can see, the people have reached the unload station now, and they will start to depart the ride. Got 70 people. Alright, we've got priority guests just coming. Pull that forward a bit, I've got to stop it again. This is where it gets, you can get flustered by it a little bit. Even though it's an easy sim, you can get a little bit flustered because if you start getting too many priority access guests and all that lot, you're having to stop, and then you're having to sort of try and deal with things, and I mean, it's even worse if you've got breakdowns on. Get them unloaded. You did see them get on, obviously they're at the top. I wish, my only disappointment is what they didn't do with Phantom Manor is like what they've done with Byron and everything else, allow you to have a zoom in function on just a section of like this area. that would have been really, really handy. Keep spamming the down button and there we go. It's not a cheat, it's just a quick way of obviously unloading. So I've got 120 now in the queue. This is ridiculous. I'm not going to be able to even possibly look at matching this. This is what I mean. This is supposed to be a quiet period. Won't call this quiet with 130 guests in your entrance, in the entranceway. At least you don't see them queuing. It's kind of a good thing that you don't see them queuing, because I think that would... That's my fault, I didn't pay attention. Got 2 priority in. As you can see, it starts to get really busy. You've just got to keep an eye on things. See, normally, when it says closed in yellow like that, normally you'd wait till it goes green. 180. See what I mean? How busy it gets, and you've obviously got to stop for your priority access. You know, you've just got to keep it going and flowing and flowing and flowing. It's not... It's not easy. It's not the easiest to work out, but if you've played the Phantom Manor before, you'll know. Like I said, I'm hoping that they're gonna. I know they did Taron and everything, but I really, really hope they're gonna bring other Sims from the Efteling, and I mean, Vogel Rock would be a nice one actually. Flying Dutchman would be nice. They did. See, the weirdest thing was, I used to play this site before I ever first went to Efteling, and I used to love the Flying Dutchman simulator, and I didn't know where it was actually from, really. I looked it up, the Efteling, and I thought to myself, you know, I'd love to go. I've got priority peeps coming in. You know, I'd love to go and maybe eventually go on, like, stuff. I mean, my favourite sim so far on here is Baron. By far, it's Baron. But the only reason it's Baron is because Baron's my favourite ride at the Efteling. I've got priority. You know, Baron's my favourite, one of my favourite rides at the Efteling. But as I was saying about the Flying Dutchman, yeah, I'd never heard about Efteling. I'd not to the point when I first played it, and then I used to like the Flying Dutchman simulator, and I was like, I tell you what would be a good simulator for them to do as well, is Carnival Festival. How did I forget Carnival Festival? And Dreamflight, and Dreamflight would make my day. A Raveline simulator would be interesting, because Raveline's a show. That would be awesome. That would be a hell of a challenge. Raveline as a show. You know, there's a lot they could do. They could do Symbolica, they could do... I know there's plenty of other simulators. I hope they just don't just concentrate on Disney again. Because then it'll just feel like it's the old site coming back. Yes, they've added Helix because Helix was one of theirs originally. And I remember the Helix sim first as well. But they had the likes of... What did they have? Steeplechase. They had that. I'd like to see more from Blackpool. I think it's B that needs to go first. I've not been paying attention to my unload. Crap, I've gone back in reverse order just like I did the other night. Can I open that? Should have been A that needed to go first. Never mind, it'll go anywhere. But yeah, like I say, I never heard of never heard of Flying Dutchman. Did a bit of research. Always wanted to go to Efteling, and now I've been. Two years on the trot. I'm going in third year, and I love Efteling. I mean, Flying Dutchman was a superb sim, and it is a superb ride. I mean, I'm challenging. I tell you what would be a nice sim as well, Villa Volta. Now, Villa Volta, yeah. If you remember, well, if you know about Hex at Alton, then you'll know Villa Volta. You really will. It's the same similar premise. Villa Volta is Madhouse like Hex. And it's one I'm thinking about this year. Baron will be a must. Baron is definitely a must this year. Just hoping the weather's going to be good again. See, 264 people. Jesus Christ. You know, Baron's definitely a must. Again. But I'm hoping there we go. Like I say, Baron is a must. Dutchman is a must. Flying Dutchman. Dreamflight, yes. Can't remember. Did we do Raveline as a group? I don't think we did this year. Last year. Really don't think we did Raveline. Can't remember. But as you can see here, we've got over 300 guests, and it's a busy time. So it's like, you've got to manage this, and I would speed it up, but I'm just trying to get my achievement. Or an achievement. 280. You've got to time the down button just right. This, like I said, it gets ridiculous. The amount of peeps you've got to deal with on this. What was I saying? Oh, Efteling. Yeah. Like I said, I'd never heard of Flying Dutchman before, but I used to love the sim, but then now I love the ride. The ride is fantastic. If you've not been to Efteling, I would actually recommend you go. It's a bit of a, to describe Dutch Disney, to be honest. I would describe it as the Dutch Disneyland. And because obviously they've got Pardoes. He's their mascot. Or Pardoes. See, I call it Pardoes, but is it Pardoes and Pajim? I can't remember. There's two mascots. There's the male, Pardoes or Paradoos. I think it's Pardoes. But yeah, they speak English well at Efteling, so it's helpful because obviously they do get a lot of American and British and that sort of tourists visiting Efteling, because Efteling, believe it or not, is open 365 days a year. That's a long time to have a theme park going. And Efteling have got the two newest attractions. One opens 2020 and one is opening in the autumn time of this year. So unfortunately we will see probably the new attractions next year. I don't know if it'll make any. One's a new Grimm fairy tale, and the other is a new ride. I believe it is, unfortunately, it's going to go and sit on the old site of the bobsleigh, which is a shame. And I don't think the decision was taken lightly to remove that bobsleigh, to be honest. And then they are looking at buying some new land as well. Or they have, or I think they have already purchased the new land for the expansion. But it'd be interesting to know that obviously the park is open 365 days a year. How are they going to do it? You know, how are they going to do all this construction with all the guests wandering around and stuff like that? And it's just like, well, I imagine that they're going to be able to manage it. I just don't quite get the claws. Don't just quite get the button again yet. There we go. But yeah, as you can see, this is Phantom Manor. And I mean, I like it. It's one of the more simple Sims. I enjoy Taran. I enjoy all the Sims. I just hope it's not going to be another case of Disney and Disney and pretty much Disney. See, this hasn't taken them long to do, but I've got prior guests. You know, it hasn't taken them long to do, but they did have this one. They did have this one on the original site, so. And then they moved, obviously, they moved it over to magical.nl. They got some of their simulators, but then now, since Ride Sims decided to come back, they asked the Magical NL to remove all traces of their Sims. Which, to be honest, makes sense, but it's a little bit of a shame. So it makes me wonder if, like, Test Track 2.0 will come back, and what else have they got planned? But like I said, I really hope it's not just going to be just Disney. I'm hoping there's going to be more from Blackpool, and because there hasn't been a Blackpool. Well, like I said, there used to be a Blackpool sim, but there hasn't been one to kick off with when they did have a Blackpool sim. I mean, Infusion would be nice. You know, that's just because I'm local. It'd be nice for a few others. But like they had Ripsaw, but I suppose Ripsaw wasn't that difficult for them to redo. Ripsaw was the first from Alton Towers, so I imagine we may, if they decide to do it, we may see Wickerman make an appearance. Because Wickerman was a big thing for Towers. So just have to wait and see what the future holds. But let's hope it's not going to be, you know, a couple of years running and then they go. But then I really hope it doesn't get to the point of the fact that you'd have to pay to do the Sims, to play them. That will be very disappointing if it gets to that. I understand, I know they've got the Patreon and all that lot set up, but I just hope it's not going to become Patreon only, because that will ruin. It'll ruin this site. It'll give Ride Sims a very, very bad name, to be honest. It's supposed to be quiet, and I've got 200 guests. How do they call that quiet? But yeah. Anyways, guys and girls, I'm going to leave this video here, I think. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All the links will be in the description to our Discord and our Twitter, Facebook, everything like that. Please do support us on Ko-fi. That would be really, really appreciated, because everything counts. And I shall see you next time. So until then, goodbye for now.